The Lockfook Jewellery Cup, we've got Rattan on the class drop. He's a three-time course and distance winner. Not Usual Talent comes back in trip. Blaze Warrior carries an extra £6 for that last start win. Circuit 3 has his second start for Benno Jung. Over the page, we have a first starter in SJ Torbian, who was Roman Empire for Aidan O'Brien. Seattle Choice gets a wide draw again. I'm a Single Man draws the gate, and Rocket Spades, a well-credentialed ex-Kiwi, formerly with Lance O'Sullivan, Andrew Scott, has joined the Casper Founds stable. All right, made our way across to the speed map, boys, for the first of our races. We're going to preview here, Tom, and what does the map tell us?
Well, it looks like it might be just a fair tempo here, Paul, with horses like Decrypt, even though he's not shown much since he's been here in Hong Kong. But Highland Fortune racing off a career best mark. Yeah, definitely. And look, he's going well at the moment, Highland Fortune. He might press on with it. Decrypt has kicked on, but just showing cheap speed recently. Hitch and Love. Now, Hitch and Love has drawn wide, likes to go forward. He might just find it a bit tough. Mr. Snowden had a really hard run. I think he was 4 wide last time, but should get a nice run on this occasion. And I'm a Single Man from his low draw should get a nice enough run. Before we get on to hearing from Joe Marrero, you've got to say a bit of a watch list here, Tom, for the 4-year-old series. Yeah, Blaze Warrior in this race, he's the top rated here on 89. SJ Turbian, who we haven't seen before, he lines up, but he's well credentialed coming out of the UK, formerly with Aidan O'Brien. I'm a Single Man, he's really risen up the ranks, Paul, and Rocket Spade kicking off that. I'm a Single Man, certainly, I guess, been a little bit of a surprise. He has, isn't he? And look, he's really found his feet this season. He's going really, really well. Rocket Spade, I think, obviously he's got bigger things down. Yeah. First and foremost, so we start with Joe Marrero, who rides the impressive Blaze Warrior.
Joe, Blaze Warrior will step out once again this Saturday. He was an impressive winner last time.
Yeah, very impressive. His first run for the season, of course, he needed a run, so he ran a good second. Second up, he was able to have a very nice run in transit, got into the clear at the right time, and he won the race in a way that you would think he can bounce back in the same class and win again, you know? So he's such an exciting horse.
And his attitude last time, he looked to be very willing. When you went between horses, he seemed to really go forward for you.
Yeah, apparently circumstances also helped him a bit because the horses around him were not really dashing, were kind of getting tired, but he showed a little bit of braveness in himself, which we like, to come in between horses and dash home. And apparently he's been beating decent horses. I mean, the horse that finished second to him last time, I actually have a very high opinion about that one, My Sugar. And as I said, he's a kind of a horse that gets us excited for the near future.
And just on his work recently, you've been pleased with the way he's come out of that race and going forward?
Yeah, he's got no problems. He's been taking out there on some morning exercise, and the horse is definitely feeling very well.
And just on his weight, Joe, he's noticeable that in the 2 runs this year, he's a bit heavier than last year. Do you feel he's matured and strengthened up nicely?
He definitely has put on more strength and muscle around his body, which has probably been contributed to his better performance this season. So I'm quite happy to see him a little bit heavier than what he was last season.
And just from gate 9, where do you sort of see yourself settling sort of early in the run?
Well, he's unlikely to have as much speed as the front runner. So, I mean, I don't think we have a horse to challenge them for speed, so he's likely to be midfield worse, but you know, it's all about what the trainer is going to tell me, and I'll take it from there.
That was a really good win last time, Paul, by Blaze Warrior, and he beat a horse you've got a lot of time for in My Sugar. Yeah, really good strong win, and the horse is going onwards and upwards, isn't he, up to the 4-year-old series, and look, he's just been beaten the once now, Tom. He certainly has, and look, up to the 1,400 metres has obviously been no trouble for him, and even looked like he'll get a lot further too. Okay, some of his opposition, and we start with a Class 1 event here, and we've got 2 out of this race, Tom. That is a Highland Fortune there in the red cap, and Not Usual Talent in the yellow jacket. He's coming into this in really good form, is Highland Fortune. He's in career best form. He was sort of wide from the 800 metres, and look, he tried really hard in the Panasonic Cup. This race, of course, was won by Lucky Express over on the inside. He went round last weekend in the International Mile, but wasn't good enough, and look, he ran really well, and he just keeps stepping up, Paul. He does, doesn't he? And from his lower draw, I think he's going to be really handy on the pace. Look, he's going well, this horse, at the moment. The win 2 starts ago was strong, and he's backed it up with this run, so he's in career best form, no doubt about that. Another newcomer in this race is a horse called Rocket Spade. He's very well credentialed, a former Kiwi, and he's joined the stables of Casper Founds, who was at track work with Nick Child.
Casper Founds, Rocket Spade makes his Hong Kong debut. He's a 2-time Guineas winner and a New Zealand Derby winner.
Yeah, he's a very nice horse. Nice to have him in the stable. He sort of is going to be first up. Last time he ran was probably 7-8 months ago, you know. So starting him off at 1400 looks a nice race for him. It'll just be where he's comfortable and hopefully take some ground off them late would be what we're looking for first up.
And just obviously on the balance of his form in New Zealand, it's very good. I mean, how would you weigh it up for racing here in Hong Kong? Obviously, he's coming with a decent profile, isn't he?
Yeah, he's settled in really well, I'll say that. He looks a treat. And I'd be expecting him to sort of come to hand pretty quick, certainly after a race, and maybe 2 races, and then show us what he's got.
He's done a lot of his work up at Chung Fa, Casper. You've been happy with that? I mean, he's seemingly running on nicely in his trials.
Yeah, very happy with that. You know, he's in good form. We gave him a little jump out yesterday. He's in good nick. He's happy and healthy. And like I said, we'd just be hoping to see them just sort of running home nicely the last part, you know, over 1400. Then you start to step them up in trip and hope it all comes together.
And you're happy with 1400 as a starting point, obviously, for a horse who certainly will get further?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we go with the program. You know, he's obviously here to, God willing, get into the 4-year-old series. But you'll have a couple of runs prior to that, and then we'll see how we go.
Rocket Spade joined Senor Toba from the Found stable on a possible Derby path. Another horse out of this race we need to have a look at, Paul, is Shining Gem. Now, this is him racing back at Happy Valley recently. What about coming across to Sha Tin?
I think he's better at Sha Tin, Shining Gem. Look, he has raced well at Happy Valley in the past. He's won just the 1 race there, but the 3 wins have been here at his other 3 wins have been here at Sha Tin. Nice enough run from him as well. So look, he's drawn 1 once again, so he'll get his opportunity.
We've seen his best form over 1200 metres. He was knocked off there in the final leg of the IJC. I think he's still worth a chance though from that low draw.
And the horse that beat him was Elon, who also races on this program back to the all-weather. The Golden Scenery, Tom. He'd gone some good races and then got himself a decent scalp with a win.
Yeah, he did. He beat Packing Victory here, and he came from a long way back. He came from behind Packing Victory, who looked in all sorts of trouble here, but lifted again. But look, he settled well back, moved into it really strongly from the 200 metres and did stave off that late challenge. And he's won a recent trial, Paul, over Courier Wonder. I expect him to be thereabouts again.
Yeah, I've got him in. Look, he came from behind Packing Victory as well. Before this, he ran second behind Master 8, who's still an unbeaten horse here in Hong Kong, so he's going really well at the moment.
And Packing Victory just rolled after a tough trip on Sunday. Selections, Paul.
Yep, so I'm going to go with the obvious one here, which is Blaze Warrior. Look, no spools there, 1.5. Any taxi driver can tell you that one. The 14 Golden Scenery in for second. I'm a single man third, and Highland Fortune for fourth. But I think the 5 can win. But the 3 behind them aren't too bad.
Yeah, I agree with the Blaze Warrior. He's going to be really tough to beat again. So he's clearly on top. Ahead of I'm a Single Man, Highland Fortune. Then it was a toss-up between Shining Gem and the Golden Scenery. Opted just with the low draw Shining Gem. Raced well last time out, but the Golden Scenery's probably definitely got to be in as well. So 5, 10, 3 and 13.